welcome back to the This Ain't a Mixed Chop podcast. This is not a mixed chop. Shout out Cam
Drop
Newton.
the clip. I'll send it to Chuck.
We're not doing intros anymore. It's just Cam Newton.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
May make
we finally
a fixed a fixed intro, and it's just
we finally found our intro.
Yeah. That lets you off the hook, but you got him, so it's equitable, you know.
I feel like that's like kind of a good goal with a podcast is like you're on something, you're on like we have like a shtick, a thing, and then when someone does it like so well, or you have like your, I guess, a golden goose kind of moment, you just like, that's it, hand it over to that.
It's rare for a podcast with 342 YouTube subscribers to hit that golden goose moment, but it's
22
cool.
episodes in.
Yeah, that's great.
The soccer podcast. The soccer podcast I was listening to that morning, Tim. They have, I don't know if the name Derek Ray means anything to you. He's like the most famous voice in soccer podcasting, and they have the same thing. So that was
soccer
like
podcasting. I thought he's the most famous announcer.
Oh, sorry, he's the most famous announcer. They use it for their soccer podcast. Sorry,
But is it like a call of his that they use?
I don't know if they had him on the show and they had him do the intro for him, or it was just like a cameo, which now like greatest use of value ever. But it's like, this is Derek Ray and you're watching the Ranks show, and they're like BR Ranks is their.
It would be like Nance doing that. I mean, Cam Newton is a great intro, but it would be like Nance or Joe Buck calling our intro. It's cool.
Yeah, or it should just be him being like, "What is chop?" Right, and he just, "What is chop?" And then it's like, "All right, snapback chop."
All right, well,
what's on tap today?
Yeah, on tap we have Olympics recap. We have Radio Row recap also, since we've didn't have time to get a chop in between the row and the Olympics. Then a little jersey patch update, coastal plans, talking about the top 10 accounts on that On3 posted, and then your AI summer house. Like Barstool does their beach house, we do an AI house. So those are our topics today. Packed one due to not recording in like 2.5 weeks. Sorry, Basil. Basil hasn't even hit my DM, so that's how I know we're in the mud, that either he doesn't care anymore, or he just because he's always like, I know you're busy with XYZ. Maybe he just understood. So
he knew the Olympic thing. He knew the Olympic thing. I just want to say I'm glad to have my boys back. It's it's rare that a group of people goes away and their value actually increases. But that was my takeaway from the last 8 days that you were over in Italy. So Casey's making fun of me. I was smiling when I saw him today, but I did tell Sean that, your guys' value to the company, you were missed. You were very much missed. There were a lot of, I would say, like, let me split it. Casey makes a lot of stuff happen. So he was missed from that perspective. Tim, you weren't really missed in that, like, you were at your best doing what you do best. And, like you are in the position that we need you in as often as we can get it. So you both crushed it. You both absolutely dominated the country of Italy and the Olympics.
Damn, that's great. Yeah, I mean, we're definitely. We're definitely fighting it a bit. I am, at least am, but
I honestly feel great. I slept from 9 to 9. Well, I woke up at 5, which would have been 11 my body time. So I was like ready to go. And then luckily I was like, I just want to get back on. I was debating, do I get up and start, or like just sleep and get back on time in one night? And luckily I was able to fall back asleep.
I feel like I'm back on time. I think what I mean fighting it is like the dopamine of being on the road for, that stretch of 14 days.
It was foggy this morning in the city. I woke up, was walking like the streets, and then I was like, fuck, this does not feel the same. Downtown Milan and downtown New
Yeah.
York City do not feel the same. And I was like, ugh, and it's gray, dark, and cold. And I was like, this is kind of gross. But other than that, Jack, I'm curious more from your side, like what you felt, like what did you think the vibe was? What did you think you were like was really cool to see? What do you think we missed out on? And then we can kind of like fill in the gaps. I obviously have a ton of funny stories to tell, but I'm curious your thoughts from home first.
Yeah, so the content absolutely crushed, and the comments, I think, and even DMs are most likely the best testimonials that we have, which is like, you guys don't have the Snapback Instagram, but in the DMs it was like, hey, I'm headed to Milan, like, do you know where I could watch the USA hockey game? Or like, even little intricate things like that. And I'm sure you guys got personal DMs there. So I thought that was cool to see.
Yeah, Tim's DMs were just flooded with, which I didn't believe him at first, but then when I saw it, I was like, that's just insane. These random, like, I thought he was talking about friends at first, but just random people in the DMs being like, yo, we can't get the Nike hockey jerseys. Like, can you just go to the Nike store and grab me one? And then I guess ship it home.
Yeah.
When you get home, ship it to them. Like, that's just an insane request.
And if I do that for you, I have to do that for everyone.
No, of course.
It's just like, I really appreciate it. I want to be a man of the people, but like, I can't even it took me an hour and a half to like close my suitcase the night before we left. Like, do you think I'm copping what 24 Team Canada Nike jerseys?
He was sitting on the top of his suitcase, like behind the back, trying to zipper it, and I was like, I want to like help him, but at the same time, it's so much more fun just sitting there watching him struggle, like closing this suitcase. I think not a mistake, but the one thing he did, the difference between the two of us is he packed for the one day in Cortina, which is obviously smart, but I made the decision of like, I'm going to just layer up and figure it out. We're only there for a day because it obviously gets significantly colder in the mountains, but like he had his winter coat, he had 2 sets of boots, like he had the whole gitch.
He's a pro. He's a pro.
Well, I was so cold at Penn State. I just said, like, never, ever, ever again. Never, ever, ever, ever again. I don't care how big the suitcase is. I don't care how much I overpack. This cannot happen ever again. So, even if it got cold in Milan, like I did read the weather before and it was like 40s, 50s, but like just being outside that long, I didn't know like the condition of the rink. I mean, we did have to stand outside the arena for a while, leaving and entering. So I just was like, I'm going to be prepared. I can't have this happen again. But yeah, I mean, in terms of like, obviously you're excited about our content and I don't want to make these podcasts continue to be like just the like Snapback glaze fest where we just like glaze ourselves. But like as someone who really fought for the Olympics, like I feel, I know like YouTube is like the major pillar of what we do, and I think that from what I've seen so far, the videos are going to look good, but like, I feel very validated in my ask. And like whether like, I feel like you were like, oh, I know you'll do well on social, but like, like I just think that it feels good to validate when you feel like you're putting your neck on the line, like, hey, this is important. And then like, you think you execute it pretty well. Like, that's what I feel good about. Like that's like,
yeah. So I wanted to kind of list out all the things because I wanted to get confrontational actually on that point.
Please.
So, but before we do, the idea that we were going to get an Olympian in content, we pulled that off. We just were stopped by the IOC's very strict rules around that. But it led to, now, I think we talked about this being an opportunity to learn about, rights restrictions and traveling internationally and different things like that ahead of the World Cup, but then also ahead of Olympics 28 here. The biggest thing, and it was definitely inspired by part of the Jason Kelsey bobsled YouTube video that came out over the last 2 days, but like we should be doing Olympic content ahead of the Summer Olympics. Like we should go do 6 events with 6 Olympians and then release it all, the week of the Summer Games, which I think would be really cool.
That video was awesome. I watched that sitting in the airport before we left because Tim and I got there at 8 a.m. and
it's
our
rare
flights
that
weren't till 2.
it's rare you see a piece of content nowadays and you're just like, fuck, this is gonna rock. You know, before
Yeah.
you even like
The
click
thumbnail
in.
was great too.
Yeah, it was
good.
just well done. So that was great. I mean, Tim, this was something that we as a company, marketing and getting ahead of marketing, need to get better at. But we're still able to, like, it shows the power that we had Olympians DMing us. We had a fan whose sister happened to be in the Olympics. She got connected to us, and then I truly think if we had pushed harder, because we were able to, we could have gotten an active player in the hockey. Although that was probably the toughest one to kind of break through towards. So all of that being said, um, the point I would contest is, I it's not. I do think USA Canada, if that's the final, will have the hype back here. I don't think the hockey hype has been what you anticipated it being, just from being back here. Like, yeah, my friends and I are kind of like talking about it. We've watched the group games, etc. But no other game. Like, I haven't watched a ton of Canada, so I'm measuring it from like a very casual standpoint. The diehards are dieharding. The Miko Renton clip is viral as ever. Like, there's obvious interest, but it's not. It doesn't have USA basketball feel to it. It doesn't have the hype that you spoke of. Do you think that'll change? Going over the next week.
I think I underestimated how badly Canada and the United States would just be beating the shit out of all of their pool
Right.
play opponents. Like, I smelt like maybe the like ugly Latvia USA upset. And then like that just brings the storyline of like, oh my God, are they going to even make it out of pool play? Like I think the tournament has not delivered in that way. And I would also say I really do think the sharing of the media has been a huge obstacle.
Yeah,
Hockey
so
needs
brutal.
that. Hockey really needs that. And
Yeah, I mean the NHL and their teams themselves not even being able to post it. Like they've gotten great clips off, like the Bo Horvat one from the Islanders. Like that's really funny, but like it's just so insane. And I know they don't specifically care about the growing of the game, but yeah, that obviously plays like a
Wait,
really,
what do you mean they
really...
don't care about the growth? You think that the hockey franchises don't care if hockey grows?
No, I'm saying the IOC, like they don't care about like
yeah, they're
they
not here to
have
grow
it.
the grow the game.
Yeah.
I would kill. Well, I don't want to say kill. That's not like a great, but the sentiment is there to just sit down with an exec from NBC and Fox ahead of the World Cup and just understand, is it NBC and Fox's choice? Is it because it's international? Is it IOC? I mean, the rules around an athlete creating content, it's a 3-minute tutorial, and you can get disqualified. It's just not even worth it. They literally make it not worth it.
Yeah, I'm curious
it's a
because the
real
only
shame.
person I've seen is Nylander is doing vlogs, which was actually they posted like a 12-minute vlog of him just getting ready in Toronto, then flying over and kind of the setup. I'm curious what the hoops he needs to go through. He's only posted one, and it was just him arriving. It has like the content of him actually there yet has not been posted. I don't know if it is, so I'm curious to see what that looks like if it does.
Well, yeah, and I'm not even about the athlete content as much, and like in terms of because I have also kind of something hit me this week too, where I was watching. There's one athlete who was talking about how like she never wants to leave the Olympic Village. It's been like she cannot stop smiling. She's having such a fun time, and like so I also do like believe in keeping that sacred. Like if that really is a private space for the athletes to just be athletes and unplug and to talk to each other, like I don't need to see the Olympic Village. I'm talking about
disagree,
just,
though.
but
I
but
disagree, though.
That's like level.
You can Tim, think about it though. We can go to LSU and show off the locker room when the players aren't there and they're not in coaches meetings, right? But when they are there, so like you can show me what the buffet at the Olympic Village looks like while not harming or breaking the sacred grace of that being a safe space. I totally think both can exist.
I don't think that the reason that the hockey has not had any like oomph to it is not because we can't see William Nylander's vlog. I think it's because even me as a hockey fan, I'm trying to catch up in the morning in case he's like, oh, did you see like the Swiss came back and tied that game or whatever? And I'm like, well, I'm just never going to see that. Like I cannot find that. Like
sorry,
that,
those are two separate comments.
That's what, yeah, right. That's what I'm trying to say. And like, look, the athlete like vlog stuff, that's like another level. I'm talking about just like you cannot people catch up through their feed. That's why like we don't have Sports Center anymore. I can't catch up.
You tweeted it. You said if no one can post highlights, at least be good at posting the highlights.
Right. Yeah. At least just be like humming the highlights. Have like the Olympic.
Fox is actually good at it. I will say. Like for World Cup, they are at least like Mbappe scores, highlight is clipped immediately. So you still have that. NBC, like the US scored 2 goals in 3 minutes in that game, and the first goal came out 12 minutes later. And it's like we're going into intermission already.
That's my thing. I was in the shower when like Tage Thompson scored a goal for the US, and Casey's like, oh, you got to see this Thompson goal. And so then I like instantly did the Twitter thing, quick refresh, not there. Search Thompson, not there. Just waiting for the official video, whatever.
So now I have to wait till intermission, and he's pressing rewind.
And I'm pressing rewind on the thing.
Literally.
Yeah. So like I can't follow it. I can't follow it.
Correct.
Like,
which is what, even if there were moments, I think it's the combination of the two. There hasn't been moments, and like everyone on Twitter is like, oh my God, Celebrini. Like I haven't seen a Celebrini goal on the timeline. I know. Yep. Because they're just tweeting about it.
It's also uber important to have that catch up content when the first game of the slate, and now that they're doubling up, the 12-10 window there is 6 a.m. here. So people aren't even up to track it in time.
Right.
It becomes integral. It's like the Australian Open. You need to be able to see the highlights because the games are going on when we're asleep.
I think Twitter, now I haven't seen anything on TikTok, transparently, but the Friday Beers podcast, is it called Empty Netters? Is that their show? Okay. So it was funny, like, their Instagram reels, it is all highlights. I think it's like fan view. And like we've talked a lot about this internally, like what are the rules? Like, can you show on ice highlights if you recorded it? If you're a media property, commercialize it, like all this bullshit. It feels like maybe, I don't know if it's NBC, I don't know if it's IOC, are being looser on it. Twitter, they'll strike you down immediately. But I'm at least hopeful that YouTube, like, as long as we kind of stay within the lines, I'm hopeful that we'll still be able to share the content. I do think my kind of take or prediction that it's actually the going to the Olympics or the other sports that create more intrigue than just the hockey. Was definitely, like, I thought Casey's series was really, really good. I mean, you guys still did great stuff at hockey, but to me, the most important part about like opening night, like, Italy was so bad. The fans didn't care, right? So like there wasn't anything to tell there, but seeing how the rink was built and how trash is everywhere, but then the, things came together. That was the appealing part to me, just how you consume and go to Olympics and your train ride to get out to Cortina. Like that stuff was really cool.
No. And if we went in to just cover hockey, it would doesn't work. Every game was blowout, and so like that's kind of a blessing in disguise in a sense. Like I actually really enjoy the exercise of going somewhere, and it's like you actually can't talk about the game at all, really. The game cannot be your central focus, and it made, I think, the content better. Like I would have never dove so much into like the beer story, like if it wasn't for no hockey really to talk about. Like
it was a beer trip. It was an alcohol trip. Yeah.
Right. Of course.
We comped it to, like, knock on wood, I'm lucky enough to have all my senses, but people, like blind people, talk about how the fact that their like smell, taste, and hearing becomes so much better. And that's kind of like when you can't talk about the game, you're just focused on like literally everything else. And we were questioning, it's not unlike us to like film a team walking off the field, whatever. But when like, we're like, all right, just in case something happens, let's make sure we're recording them walking off the ice. And then the Rantanen things happens. And then we're like, all right, he's going to come back, yada, yada. And like, you don't know if that happens, if it's just like, we're looking for highlight overlaid with reaction. They won, bang, game over, let's leave.
Right. No, that's the perfect example of it. We both were filming the Rantanen thing because it was just we were like just trying to get some last.
Guy used
Casey's.
I think mine.
That's okay though. No, and then I was like, no, we should use mine. I zoomed in. And he's like, I zoomed in too.
You do have the new iPhone. You do have the new iPhone.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out the new iPhone getting in the day before.
Oh, you had the iPhone.
Yeah, he had it.
Yeah. I made sure. Shout out Pops. Made sure that the phone was there before we left because I knew most likely what we were bugging out, which you'll see in the video, is like we get there opening night and they're like, no power. Like the list of things you cannot bring in was lengthy, and then they were like, no power banks. We were like, fuck. So we knew not to bring the camera to begin with, just because we didn't want to deal with that. But then we were like, DJI's look just like a power bank. We both have our power banks because we're recording on our phones. But yeah, they ended up being fun. They're always like announce everything that can't come in, but in reality, like you can bring it in. So that was good.
Yeah, like there's a funny story going around, like Jack, exactly like the Celebrini thing. It's like, where do I go to find that? Like, there's a funny story that he got a penalty shot in an international play. Anyone can take the penalty shot, but in the NHL, it's you. And he's like, yeah, like I didn't know that like someone else could take it. And so everyone was laughing. Like, was he just like doing it because he's like, no, like I'm taking this. Like, he's like, no, I would have like let McDavid take it in 2 seconds. Where's like the video of him contemplating that? Like that would be
it up with
no, that would be no, even from the broadcast, that would be an easy, like, did he look at the bench? Were there guys laughing? Like, that's a clip that would be like a thing that gets people, like, I think of like tennis all the time, like arguing with the umpires, or like I see those clips all the time when you can't even just be better at showing the stuff. Yeah. So even them producing the highlights, like they're not even getting into anything silly or like just grow the game stuff. Like that'd be a Twitter moment. Like, the big thing is Quinn Hughes. Have you seen like the memes about him, like sitting on the bench? This hockey Twitter, like Quinn Hughes always just stares on the bench. He's just like this.
He looks like he's like looking through life, like nothing's going on behind.
Yeah, and like people, and it's like from the broadcast, it's showing the whole USA bench, and then there's just Quinn, like, and finally people know this is a thing on NHL Twitter, and finally like the Olympics got it, and they tweeted the clip, and they're like, typical Quinn Hughes or whatever, and it's like, yeah, man, more of that. But they're like a year late on. It's like they're still a year late on like a 6-7 joke. Like they're like, hey, here's the Quinn Hughes thing. It's like, yeah, guys, like we need like be on the ball about a lot of this shit.
So yeah, it's been covered at length. Obviously, the
Sorry,
IFC sucks. We don't. No. I mean, it's an important topic.
What's the takeaway from Olympics in Milan for Snapback?
First Snapback, I think something we've discovered beforehand, kind of in these smaller, more niche experiences where we don't know as much. It's like the research versus the like come prepared versus come curious type of thing. Like I think the fact that we had no clue what was going on, I think is like the best case. And then when you stumble upon these things, your raw reaction comes off better. Like we had no clue that these country houses were a thing, and when we go and get there and it's fucking amazing, like if we had known exactly what it looks like and what you're supposed to do there, I don't think it comes off the same. So I think you never want to go in unprepared, but having a certain level of like unknown and curiosity to some of these things is still good.
The takeaway for me is Snapback can do pretty much any type of event. Like we are not just a college football. We are not just like a big game, like actually quite the opposite. We can do.
Yeah, I was going to say we might suck at the big game.
Right. That's actually, really what it is. But like we, Casey is saying like, okay, yeah, like the curiosity versus preparedness, but like Casey was prepared enough to know that there were houses. He just didn't like know what they could look like. But, and I think that what made me proud of being there, like I'm very proud of Snapback, very proud of us for just like being so down to do whatever. And like, that is where the creativeness comes from. Like I've seen some like creators over there and they're trying their best. And like, you do have to be creative, but I'm just like, all right, I dare you to like run that playbook, because it's also like takes a lot of hard work, and it takes a lot of like, just, I think, creative energy as well, that you just have to be down to for like, you know, yeah, I think it was like a very big win in terms of Snapback's creativity. And I would put it in the category of like us doing trivia at Radio Row. That to me is like what we found a way to matter there. And that's to me really cool.
Okay, so I think that's case. What I'm looking for, less so than like, we should be we should go in curious, is like, what was the win from the Olympics, right? We spent a lot of money to do it. Okay, we gained on following. That's great. Our YouTube videos and content are gonna be great. But like, what does it even mean for the brand, right? Like, and I think the like, as we're headed down this AI path of, it's going to neutralize a lot of shit, right? In theory, it's what social media did. The best creators in the world couldn't make movies. Well, with AI, they might be able to make movies, right? The best, Tim might be the best content creator in the world, but he can't type. Well, AI, he's going to talk to, his AI, and it's going to type for him, right? So it really sets us up for success. And if the takeaway is, like, I've shifted the vision and really the motto for the company from like finding the best experience in sports to doing the coolest shit in sports. Is it like, what is the question is Snapback's X factor creativity, right? Like, is that what we're kind of headed down the path of?
Yeah, I think on that note, it's like we saw, and we talked about it, I think on this pod, is like we saw the NBC announce their creator list that they're sending to support Peacock. And we were like, genuinely, what the fuck? Like, we didn't really follow them. It hasn't popped up on my feed. Granted, we don't follow them because I actually didn't know 95% of those people. So they may be doing great and maybe the numbers are there. But I feel like this is just such a good use case of being able to like show, like, we showed everything pretty much in a positive light. So everything was like great and it still performed really well. So I just think it's a great use case in general to just show, whether it's different events, brands, whatever it is. I think this is a great thing that we can package together for YouTube videos, 100 pieces of social content, great numbers. And like Tim said, how we can be we don't need, like, we had no help on the grounds. We had no access, we had no hand holding, nothing. And then we were able to just figure it out ourselves. And like Clifford, we're all a big fan of him. I saw that he's being sent to the Olympics by NBC and Peacock. Like, I have no clue what he's going to do. So I'm curious to see what his content looks like, but I'm just confused by the strategy in general.
Yeah. And
I mean, there's always going to be a lag from the corporate companies, like, hey, they're sending creators. Okay, good first step. It's just like, now what?
And I also felt that, like, maybe it's me, or the way I first interpreted Snapback experiences, or, finding the best experience. But so much of that, like, especially the Olympics, brought to light that it really, we get caught up in crowd pop and fans and atmosphere, and like, do these fans, how die hard are they? There's so many we were reporting on what it's like to go to a game. We were reporting that there's no bars near there. Like, you have to do this, and that. We're reporting that you stand in line on your way in, on your way out. Like, and I think that is like, I'm sitting here going, because one of the things that you sent, the do's and don'ts, was like, you can't bring the like appearance that you're credentialed media.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there like, well, I'm thinking of the hockey media, and there's 3 games today, and they're just sitting at the Santa Julia rink. They're going to type their story, and then they're going to go back and get some coffee and some crispy chicken. They're going to go back. They're going to type the story for the next game. And I'm just sitting there going, well, does anyone tell you what it's like to fucking go to the game? Does anyone tell you how to get to the fucking game? You know what I mean? And so it felt, yeah, it's creative, but it also is reporting on like what this is like, right? Cortina and Milan are not close. That was we got quoted by I think it was Dan Walken, who's like big Yahoo columnist.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, I don't think people understand that. This is a great show of it. It's like, yeah, like we that's like validate. That's a real journalist, right?
It turned out that it actually was it was a great way to show everyone how not to get there. Tim and I had a discussion. Sean has mastered the U.S. Logistics for Snapback. He still needs to figure out his playbook internationally.
He's not an international guy.
He's not. Thank God I tapped in Mom, because the original plan was to go to Cortina and then come back to Milan to fly out, which is just not the way. Like the Venice airport actually has all the Olympic signage. Like that is how you get there. But yeah, and then the obviously having to add you book per person in internationally, apparently, not per room like we do. So yeah, getting there, them being like, this room is only booked for one person, and then having to pay double essentially on top of what it already was a brutal break.
Yeah, I mean, does
shout
that
out Sean, I guess.
does that like, I feel like you got to be like, obviously you got to be satisfied, but like, you know, obviously I take ownership of like the athlete thing, and you know, like you were like, that's your job to promote and all this, and certainly football is hard. Certainly, you know, being the Super Bowl all week, we know how draining that week is. You just like, all of a sudden you look and like, I've been at this for like 12 hours, and you know, I don't really know how I'm gonna, and carrying multiple storylines like certainly is a thing. And I also though like and this is definitely a fault of mine. Like one, I was like, really, it's next week. It kind of still felt so far away. It felt like I had more time than I did. And like, the proof of what does it actually look like? Now I know how, like we said, like you got to get an athlete involved beforehand, but also as people are still learning about snapback sports, are still like learning for the first time that we do things other than football. Right. Yeah. And so like every time that's like a little win, like, you know, you introduce a new audience, not that that's just like good for followers or whatever, introducing new audience in the sense that like, yeah, now we have the reach to like go do skeleton if we wanted to, like in Denmark, yeah. Like, you know, but yeah. You only really do that by showing you're a serious player. And you, sure, I can make a video at the airport saying like, this is my goal, this and that. And like, you can hope it works out, but also just being there shows you're serious. And that, you know, it's kind of like you can't put the cart before the horse there in that sense. Like, yeah, we have like the highlight for me was the guy from Germany putting the scarf around me at the fan zone. To me, that was the moment. Because it was like, I followed you, we're still like, I'm a little anxious everywhere we go of like, are we allowed to be here? Are we allowed to film? Like, are we a moment away from people being like, all right, enough of Snapback film and everything. You guys are out of here. Like, I'm waiting for that to happen at any moment. And then just to have like someone put the scarf on me and be like, nah, like, I'm so happy you're here. Like, welcome. Like, if we get a gold medal tonight, let's see if you guys can come to the party. It's like, what universe is this? Like, what? Yeah, that's insane.
Speaking of that, I think it's also when we go back to like learnings and confirmations of things, of what can we take away. Like, we learn the longer you're there. We learned that during college football season, but like all the things that happened once we were there for like 4 or 5 days, and we got invited to free tickets to USA Canada final if it ended up happening. Like I look at Hammer, like he went to Iowa State for their back-to-back. They had 2 big games, and then by Monday, his last day there, everyone Iowa State adjacent basketball knows him, and he like is crushing that entire thing. So not that we didn't already know that, but as time went on and we were posting, we were getting invited more places, more people were recognizing us, more people were like, yo, did you post the beer thing? So I think that was another confirmation of like the longer we can be there. And I think to your point, Jack, that how do we make that similar impact before we go? Because we can't go for 3 weeks everywhere we go. So how do we do the pre-marketing to make it feel like we're already there so that stuff happens upon landing, not the day before we leave?
Yeah. I mean, we did with college football. We kind of know some things that make it happen, but we'll figure out more along the way.
Yeah. And it's when you're doing the pre thing, it's still so like, it would have been almost wrong to focus too much on hockey in pre-promotion.
Yeah.
Like that, you know what I mean?
What now? What's next?
For Snapback, like what's on our schedule, or
yeah. Like what are we like? How are we feeling? Like what's the we want to keep momentum going, obviously, but what's next for you? Like hockey tour was a big thing, right?
Yeah.
What's your feeling now that you're back? You just did it, did Penn State, like.
Yeah, let's keep doing it. I also just think that I'm not like fatigued. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to continue this thing moving. And but it's almost like you want another. And I need the Olympics like next week to start again, so we could like run that. But like I feel really positive about everything that went on, and whatever's next is next. And I know we have other exciting plans coming up, so we just got to fit those in because I'm also excited about those. So,
no, I guess I'm just incredibly bullish on like the hockey numbers, and it's like it's such a space that I feel like we could just like attack so hard. And but I'm also like, should we just continue to dive deeper into college sports? Like, and then I made a list of like events that I want to do, experiences, content. Like, it doesn't end, which is exciting, but also
right.
equally overwhelming, right? Like, I want to do all 4 tennis majors. Like, I want to compare Wimbledon and Australian Open, and it's like, how do we do? Is that in 4 years, or like? Like how do we I want to do the Euro tour and do all of soccer. We want to do World Cup this summer. We want to do hockey. Like we could film 190 hockey videos, like concepts,
Right.
easily.
Right.
Easily. I think we could do Snapback Saturdays for fucking college hockey. And there's an audience for it, a big audience for it.
Yeah, and that's okay, so where you're going with that is like I look at the overwhelming amount of events and all that, and I'm actually just like, okay, the Olympics were something like I never even dreamed I thought was possible. Like, because it does have, especially winter, happens every 4 years. So it's like 4 years ago, I was still working at Action Network doing fuck all. So how quickly that kind of happens, I'm like, we'll get to that. Like, at least me, I think so.
Yeah.
Like, I just think like continue. Obviously I'm kind of had the mentality of like full speed ahead, but I'm almost like I feel like now I really know what to do. Right. We figured out the college, we figured out the pre-promotion.
How do you balance? Because the feeling before we left for Super Bowl was like, we gotta go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you balance? We gotta go. Let's go, while also taking this long-term vision of like, if our day in the life with McDavid like is gonna happen, but whatever, it's not urgent, right? We could do it in 3 years. How do you balance the two?
Maybe I'm more content world immature than you, because I feel like you have a better, more wiser perspective. And I was kind of like seeing the success of what we were doing made me want to go. But now I feel like I don't know. I feel like this was such a massive win that I'm like, I feel good. I just like know I'm not as, when I say go, it's also an anxiety that like we're going to miss the boat on something. But and maybe the go is also like, I want to be done with college football to show that like the go is like, I want to start showing that we can do other things. Right. That was part of the go. Like, the more we just like get fat off of like, here's the college football Saturdays thing, the more it's like, they're done. They're going to do some off-season talk now about, Trinidad Chambliss. Part of the go.
No, I just saw Joel Klatt, his thumbnail for his show was, could Mr. Beast buy a national championship? And it's like, it actually is an interesting conversation, but it is funny to see like what Klatt and Pate have to talk about once the season's over.
Yeah, off-season content, right? And so I think part of the go was like, I'm ready to switch gears. And I'd not wait till it was the Stanley Cup Finals to like be doing hockey again. So that was like kind of the go. But I think, I just feel, I it's like a bell curve of being like a rookie and then kind of getting like, I get how this works now. So maybe it doesn't feel like it's moving as fast. Right. Like if you said we got to go somewhere like next weekend, I'm like, got it. I know the playbook, insert this, insert that. So that just makes me in being somewhere for that long too was kind of like, if you can do one thing really, really well. So if we're going to do one thing, let's do it really, really well. So I think those are all kind of the things I'm thinking about. Like, I'm not starving to be like, let's go to hockey this weekend. Cause I'm like, is that really the smartest thing? Let's choose something that's like a good, we can get a lot out of, that's me. I think I realized all the layers that you can get to one event or one thing. So that's like maybe I'll be go about peeling back all those layers, but I'm not in a go about all these events because I'm like, okay, just pick an event. Let's do it really, really well.
Like North Dakota, Sean had scheduled for this weekend.
Yeah.
Like, is that, you're essentially saying, like, going to North Dakota, 100% something we need to do. Absolutely excited to do it. If it doesn't make sense this weekend, that's okay. And like, we're not going to force anything, essentially.
Right. That's how I feel. But and again, it's all to scale. Like, I think missing out on Super Bowl Radio Row, big deal. Not being like ready to go in terms of the planning for that, big deal. Yeah. I think missing out on the Olympics would have been a big deal. But like, I love North Dakota. It's going to be there. And if you missed it, you missed it. But, there'll be opportunities for that. I think thinking, just picking our spots and being really, really good at it and knowing like, hey, I also, because I know what my best effort looks like, and I think that at least socially was this Olympics, it's like, I don't know if that'll be my best work. And maybe that's like, oh, that's okay. Like, your best work, your fine work is still going to be good enough. But I'm like, don't know if that's the best thing right now. So something like that would be an example.
Case, what's next?
Well, I just wanted to touch on a few more things from the Olympics because I can't allow it to go untalked about that Tim paid 30 euros for a piece of yarn from a Senegalese migrant. And like, I guess there's nothing to talk about because it just was what it was. But like, I found that to be like the single funniest thing that happened the entire time. And I started journaling. So I figured I should let you know that. Not like
you started doing like daily journal or like actually writing down just like what happened and
writing down. Like, I just want to remember, like, my memory is so fried. I don't know if it's like being on my phone all the time, drugs, whatever it is. I can't remember anything.
A lot of candidates out there.
So if I figured I start if I write them down and it's not in detail, it at least triggers enough. Like, I got home, Zoe was like, tell me about the trip. And I'm like, and then I'm like, fuck, I have it all written down. And then when you read it, like, you can go into detail more about what you wrote down. So I'm a fan. I haven't gotten into affirmations, and like, maybe I'll get into start in the morning, what I want to accomplish. And then when I write down my day, I can either check off for X and evaluate how I did. Maybe that's the next iteration, but I'm happy that I've started, writing down just simply what happened in my day.
Are you typing or physical writing?
No, physical writing. I went to the AC Milan store, got a Pulisic jersey that doesn't fit, and got a...
Why doesn't it fit?
Because I'm fat and because soccer jerseys are just tight in general. I always go 2 up in size on a soccer jersey because I just know the fit. Like,
you don't fit 2 up?
No, they didn't. So I'm a large. They didn't have double X at the store, and they did have a custom section. But I got it right before we went to the first hockey game. So I was like, I'm not waiting the time. So I just like bought the XL hoping it would fit. It obviously didn't.
So can we get the story? Like, I don't understand what happened.
All right. So they're lined up like right in the street by like essentially the busiest intersection from like the main strip of stores to like this castle,
like 5 wide
fan zone, like 5 or 6 deep. So, and we had walked by them multiple times, so it's not like he got surprised. So we walk over, they're always trying to get your attention, and if they can't, they just essentially like throw it on. They do whatever they can do to get it onto you. And then, so whatever, people, they put it on him, they just like throw him on the ground. Like, it doesn't matter. They know the game just as much as I thought we knew the game. So even when I'm there filming Tim, like, they're putting them on me and I'm just like shaking it off they're essentially like bees, not to be disrespectful and dehumanize them, but they are
pests.
just like, they're pests. Yeah. So whatever. I don't know what happened to Tim because we were just walking through to get to the fan zone, and he was like, I didn't know what to do. Like, it was on me. And I'm like, there is no excuse. They physically have to tie it onto you. So there is ample time to do whatever. And then he, like, I don't know why we got cash because, you know, you want to be prepared. We only had 50s. So he gave him a 50 and was like, do you have change? The guy gave him back 20 euros and he was just like, cool. And it paid 30 euros. Like, I was like,
at that point, it was just, we're walking away, and like, you already.
And the funniest,
what if he got back 30 euros? You would have been like, oh,
no.
You got to steal.
He lost the battle in general, but like the fact that he paid 30 euros and then ripped it off his wrist within 5 seconds was just so fun.
So I had my phone and my coffee double fisted, and he throws it on, and we're kind of walking slow. Like, there's people. So I stopped for a minute because someone kind of like cut me off. And so I was stopped, boom, throws the bracelet on me. And I was just in a mood of like, looked, I'm like, I really don't want to do this, man. Just please take it off. Like, I was like, please, man, come on. Like, I'm in a rush, whatever. And he's just like, no, where are you from? And I go, no, please, just please don't do this right now. And then he starts tying it. And I also don't want to spill, it's in my coffee hand. Like, so I'm going to like spill my coffee over this. I have my phone. I'm like, I'm like, please. And he's like, where are you from? And then I'm like, I just was like, I didn't know how ruthless I can be. Like, and then, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, I not tried to reason with them, but I was in a reason mood of just like, come on, just go pick on someone else, please. You know, one of those ones. Like when a homeless person asks you for money, sometimes you go, I got nothing. Or sometimes you're like, fuck off. Right. It's just different tones. And I just was like, come on, man. Like, please just go get someone else. And he's like, oh, where are you from? No, it's a special. I'm like, oh, no, for sure. Like, and then so next thing you know, he's just tying it on me. And he's like, I got another one too. I go, no, I don't need another one. And again, now Casey's filming me. And I'm just like, I really got to go. No, this means this. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, you got me. And he starts tying it on, this and that. And then I thought we had loose change. I was going to give him literally $1.
Right.
And then I didn't have any. And then I was worried, again, balancing all my shit to finesse out. I did have 5s, but I couldn't find them in my wallet. And I didn't want to have my wallet out too, fishing around with my coffee and my this in case now that's a disaster. So I'm like, what will I pay to just get out of this? And I was just like, here's a 50. And I'm like, well, you got change, right? And then he just gave me the 20 back. And I go, I'm just like, I'm out of here. So then Casey's bringing it on. I feel bad enough. No one feels worse than me. But Casey's laughing at me. It's not like I didn't know. I just was like, it was just, you know, I was like, are we really doing this? Please, just please. And not to be reasoned with.
Yeah. Did you guys film behind the scenes content for the main channel subscription, or like
not
once
really.
you're back at it? Yeah.
It was
our days were actually 20 hours long. So like,
yeah, I was
that was kind of
these were longer days than like our college football facility days. So when we did get to dinner, we essentially just like sat down, did not speak to each other, scrolled, and just like relaxed. I did day one, and then we have some from the travel day, but any day where we were filming like for YouTube, it was essentially wake up, go to the arena, and then like the 2 of the games we went to were the 9-10 games. So we got back at like 1 midnight or 1 a.m. the first 2 nights. So it was just like,
and then we're getting up at 7 the next morning. Yeah. There's honestly, there'll be a lot on the cutting room floor from these videos that can go into that. I think, but like we got to the point where we just stopped speaking to each other when we had the time. Like we both
stay amicable.
The only thing that I said is like, as a man, you should own, like, as a man our age, you should only be able to travel with luggage that you can take care of yourself. Like I'm helping him like carry his bags up the stairs, put it in the overhead, and I'm just like, you're not my girlfriend. Like, if you're bringing luggage, like, make sure you can fucking handle it yourself. So that started to piss me off. It was granted, it was also a 10-hour travel day. So anything he did would have started to piss me off. But I will say, it's funny because the way you get annoyed, and then the way I get annoyed, and then the way Tim gets annoyed, like, it is all, I now see it so clearly the way it's passed down. Like, the way Tim feels about when he has to travel with Vert alone is the exact same way I feel about him. So, like, I get it now. Like, he's just as used, like, because the reality is, as frustrating as it is, it's like, do something. You're like, when you're there, you're like, somebody just find us a dinner place. And I'm like, I now get it. Cause it's like, if you're not in charge of the logistics, there's not much that you can like dive into. Like, the trains were delayed and Tim's just like standing there like, yeah, I got to figure it out. Like, he gets coffee and food and I have to figure out what fucking train we're getting on. And like, you're setting the alarm every morning and what time we're leaving and getting on the Uber and directing us to the subway and where we're going to eat and when we're going to eat. Like, that all falls on one person because it actually is hard to divvy that up. So now I get why Tim doesn't like to travel with Vert, because he becomes that person. But I need him to know that, like, he is Vert to me.
And you guys are all Vert to me.
Correct. And the worst thing is Vert knows he's useless. So when you tell him something, he at least is just like, yes,
at
sir.
least Tim
thinks he's not useless, but
he's
actually
getting food, he's getting coffee. Like, he's a little bit more, like, you guys are a little bit more useful. Like, if I say,
he's slightly
Casey,
more
call
useful,
the
but
fucking Uber.
Yeah,
he's
will. Slightly more useful, but he's also thinks he's not. So the variety
the
delta is like off there.
Wow. Okay. Okay. One of the things, I was doing a 14-day trip, so I had 2 suitcases, and I'm buying
I feel
merch.
like there should have been grace given for that.
Well, time out.
Insane.
I thought about that, but I also so I did the math. I was traveling, so he should have double what I have minus all the equipment.
That's not true.
How? He was gone 2 weeks. I was gone 1 week.
So, okay. So what's your point?
My point is
triple.
He had triple the stuff I had, didn't carry any of the equipment, so that wasn't adding up to me until we got to Cortina. You practically had to pack the 3rd bag just to be prepped for Cortina, which, again, that's a decision that he made himself. But I thought he should have been able – he had this huge duffel bag, backpack, and a carry-on. I think he would have been able to travel with just the duffel bag.
Got it. If we were doing it again, you wear one T-shirt the whole week. So
Literally.
so that's like, I don't know what to tell you.
He got different beanies though. I was proud of him for that.
3 different beanies.
You're also just like kind of gross. Like you just kind of wear the same fucking shit.
That's actually just
like I bring my own shampoo. I floss. I mouthwash. Okay. You go in the morning. Just go. And then go to bed, and then wake up. You don't brush your teeth before bed. You just wear the same T-shirt and shit. That's all you do.
No.
And then additionally, I get my rebuttal from you. I get my rebuttal from you. How do I not get my rebuttal?
Quick on that point, I am self-aware about certain things that I do are gross. I do not brush my teeth before bed. I acknowledge that's not a good habit.
But that also wouldn't change the equation of stuff.
No, but
just for the record.
But I'm just
what I'm saying is the clothes thing, because that's the most important part. Is he feels like he needs to pack more because I wear the same thing. The only thing I re-wore was my over jacket, which you do too, and then I brought 3 sweatshirts for 5 days. For 6 days. I feel like that's
I'm
fair.
not. And I'm not doing hoodies. Like, I wear a turtleneck. I wear a quarter zip. I wear a nice vest. I got my Barber. I got my thick coat. I got my.
That's my point, right? You don't need
I want to look good. I'm on the camera most fucking time.
People are allowed to have style. Like, you don't have to go
what we're not going to do is call what Tim wears style. If you want to call it cleaner, sure. If you want to call it style, I will not have that.
I'm not style. It could be a style you don't like.
Who likes the style?
A lot of people.
I
People commented on the barber jacket on Instagram. I saw barber comments.
like
No, the barber jacket is the only thing he wears. That's fine.
I'm not doing just like, I'm not slumming it in hoodie and sweatpants.
Remember
like
the
I
I
wear,
don't wear sweatpants. I don't
Remember
wear
the
sweatpants.
Dell State crash out? That was all time.
Yeah, that was all time.
I'm kind of just like, did I overpack? Yes. But also like to compute my brain going for 14 days, like you're just gonna probably overpack some stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't
I'm also,
sound-
No, yeah.
I'm also the
Sounds like
only one.
Things went well. It
I'm the
sounds like
only
things-
one.
Specifics don't matter. I just like, I finally had the realization of like Jack getting frustrated with me or us when we don't do anything, down to me, down to like, now I get why it is exhausting having to be the leader of the trip. That is a fact.
Yes, 100%.
And also, sorry, last thing.
I'm also the
thing
only
I
one
meant to harp on. If you tell Vert to be ready at a certain time, Tim is also the single slowest moving human being of all time. So that is like when you're running the entire trip and it's like, at least be ready when I tell you to be ready. And then he's not.
So do you adjust it?
I've now started to tell him 5 minutes earlier, but like sometimes that's not even enough time with him.
15.
It's like if I'm setting the alarm schedule,
I cannot believe you're doing this.
At least be ready on time. That's the only thing actually you have to do is wake up and be ready at the time that I told you to.
I can't believe you're doing this. I can't believe you have all these things that you have wrong with me that you're waiting to talk about here. That is so fucking foul.
What did I not bring up to your face other than the grand realization that the way you feel about Vert when you travel with him is the way I feel about you?
Also, you're doing the fucking like, oh yeah, I've been abroad. I know Italy. Like, so I'm just like, that's
never did that once. Never did that once.
Yes,
I literally said I've never been to Milan.
And then we got to Milan. You're like, oh, I've been here.
Yeah, I said, oh wait, I have been here. That was the last
check
comment I made about
check
it.
your fucking privilege, man. You see the Duomo? Yeah, oh yeah, I've been here. So like, yeah, man, you run the fucking subway system. Like, you know what to fucking do. Also,
but that's my thing. Is like, I don't know how the subway system works. If you pull up Google Maps, you have to figure it out. Any of us could do that.
Then tell me that's my job.
I'm not here assigning jobs. Like, if you could just be like, hey, we got to get to them. I'll get us there.
I'm the talent. I'm talent.
Right.
Just
exactly.
tell me where to fucking go.
100%.
Yeah.
So
my job is to look nice, be like fueled and ready to go, and like have my mind in a good state because I'm on camera.
100%. And
this is the brand.
That is now. I just want you to know when you complain about.
Yeah, because the fucking the main talent shouldn't have to add a whole nother job. You're of all
not
people.
Main talent. We already discussed
then
this.
I'm talent. I'm the only person at the company who's full-time talent. And so whatever it may be, like you should know.
I'm actually the reason I'm excited for tomorrow's meeting is I'm excited for the breakdown from Paige.
And again, I think you did. Like, I think sure, if you outperformed me, then by all means. But maybe it takes a little more for me to get going. And
Twitter and beer trip for Tim.
And also the wheel broke on my suitcase, so that like sucked during the 10-hour travel day. And I just want to wrap with this. I always assume that like you're right. Like, I'm not like, oh, this fucking guy's pain in the ass. Like, we're like trying to make sure we're on time for the train. All this, I'm like respectful that you planned it. You like doing the like, oh my God, 10 minutes. So, and then you just then bolt up a giant staircase when I have 2 bags. And sure, if I was alone, can I get up the staircase my own? Yes. But then I'm like, can you give me a hand? And you're like, oh man, shouldn't do travel alone. I go, well, then I'd look for an elevator. And by the time I look for an elevator, you'd be like, you're fucking late. The train's leaving. So like, we're on the same team. If you just have to grab the other end of my suitcase so we can continue to be on time and you can feel like, yeah, then like, thank you. Like, thank you so much for helping me. Also, like, we know that
it's kind of like the backpack case. Like, is it like, you ask us to carry the backpack during college, like you get it just, we're on the same team. It's not all too different than that.
And we know we're in a place where
not like you made it seem like you're carrying Tim's duffel around.
No,
like,
every staircase he just had to carry the
Nothing,
bottom when we went up and down stairs.
Nothing is that big of a deal in individuality. It's just the macro of it all was the only point was my realization about that. That's all.
We're also in a place where like it's the pickpocketing and like you have to be like have your stuff zipped up and all that. It's like so
I get it, Tim.
If I have to put my phone
I got my
in
phone fucking gripped, and these guys are like, "Oh, I saw a TikTok about that." I'm like, you realize like we're on this trip together, right? So if this happens to me, it actually impacts the rest of you, but they don't care. No one.
So he'd rather me put my phone, wallet, and stuff on my seat while I haul that bag up and then have it get jacked, and then we're like screwed the whole trip. Instead of just grabbing the other end of my suitcase for, I don't know, 10 seconds and putting it up on the thing, and I go, "Thank you, appreciate it." Like, look, that's my.
I just wanted to know the intricacies. I think the takeaway is still it was all love and it was a successful trip. He was just sharing the minutia.
No, sure. And I can be a lot. Like I know I'm late. I know I take a while. But also then we're on the trip one point and he's like, we're at I think one of the games. He's like, "Can I use your portable?" It's like, okay, well, I took the extra 3 minutes while you barked at me to make sure that I remembered my portable. I'm not like, you forget your portable. Like I don't do that.
I love the delta again is like you saying that's a 3-minute task.
Right.
Like that's
everything
so funny.
he does takes 5
Things
minutes.
take me longer. Things take me. I obviously process slower. I obviously process slower. Like
if you processed at the speed of McDavid, you'd be in the league. Like we know.
No, I process well on the ice. It's day-to-day tasks. It's day-to-day tasks. I process.
AI is going to be a weapon for you.
Final. The he also did the thing where he's like, "Oh, I saw." Like I'm like, "Oh, where are we going for dinner?" He's like, "Oh, well, I've been seeing all these great TikToks on places, so I got it." And then I ask him later, "Where are we going?" He's like, "Well, you could fucking do something." I'm like, "Yeah, man."
Timeout. See, that is just so
final.
Final.
We can't end.
No, we have to. What's next?
It's not even close to the truth.
What's next?
It's actually not even
matter.
Close.
Then it
all right,
doesn't
what's next
matter.
is Radio Row. It actually was not even close.
That was so. You got to let it go. You got to practice just letting it go.
I will. I wish it was just close.
It's like
to the
when
truth,
fucking someone tweets that Patrick Mahomes isn't a good quarterback. It's just like, just let it go if it's so far from the truth.
All right. Radio Row update. So we obviously teased it in the intro. Cam Newton was great. We taught him what chop is, and now we have like so many good quotes from Chop. The North Star now is not Chop Robinson to come on. It's actually Cam Newton.
Oh, I feel like that could happen.
Oh my God. Also, this guy's getting nosebleeds. Nosebleeds are back. Everywhere I go, I make sure I grab a handful of napkins in case he gets another nosebleed. Like, so I can be there. Like, and you're just like I think of you.
By the way, we went one for one on nosebleeds.
How do we go back to Milan? We're on.
You
Did your
also
nosebleed
got a
in
nosebleed.
Milan?
It did. We both got a nosebleed. No.
Okay. All right. We're on to the row. We're on to the row.
Wow. I need to get reporterized, it seems.
What were our big takeaways from Radio Row?
That feels like 2 years ago, by the way.
I know.
Radio Row. I mean, it went well.
The article.
Awful announcing. Article was cool.
Yeah, awful announcing. Article was really cool. I'm curious what you think, Jack. We thought more people Pro Bowl wise. It seemed like Tuesday was another wash day. So I think Monday, Tuesday, depending on how important we think opening night is, I think potentially getting there Tuesday night and just doing Wednesday through Friday is a possibility. Like it's so barren on Tuesday.
Right, but
that it's so barren on Tuesday that you remember the highs from last year, and then it just I was like so upset after Tuesday that like we're not going to get this done. And
you thought we were cooked on Tuesday?
No, I was just pissed off.
Were vibes low on Tuesday?
Yeah, very low. I thought vibes were low because we didn't get anyone. Vert was leading the team in most leads, and I was like, all right, this is just ridiculous.
And then Monday night was like what? Not a disaster, but like just a meh night for
Yeah, Monday
Snapback.
night as always was meh. Like it also was like you went from being in Allegiant and the Superdome to being in the San Jose Convention Center. So you walk in and the vibes are like completely off.
It's
Then
like pitch black in there too.
yeah, it was like and it wasn't as busy, which we were happy about because you can essentially it's not as busy, but like it's like, all right, well, if people didn't even feel like it's necessary to be here, is it really necessary to be here? And then obviously what I thought was going to be the best clip, which none of it was integral, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But then there's no audio on the guy talking shit to you about cuties and contenders, so like that was shitty. And then into Tuesday being a shitty Radio Row day, it's like, all right, I don't even know why we're fucking here.
But it also starts just like the momentum of like like if you're just to show up on Wednesday, like then I would argue be like we take like all Wednesday to like get our bearings, and then like Thursday and Friday would be overwhelming. Like you kind of need, I think you kind of need
What
to
do
get
you
your
need your
power.
bearings for?
It just shows like Snapback's back. Snapback's got some stuff going on. Like even if we do have our thumb up our ass, like
you could do Pro Bowl in theory, right? Like I think that'll stick around.
Yeah.
I would say the question is like, what's the evolution of the company? Because it's really about like, how does Snapback show up Super Bowl week, right? And there's a bunch of different verticals, right? So you've got like the Barstools of the world who associate, and let's take the Patriots out of it because we'll get to Sunday, but like they show up, like how do they show up? They do all their own stuff, like how would you, adjacent to Super Bowl, right?
Right.
They play a flag football game. They have their own kind of content house. They
do their trivia show.
They do a trivia show, right? So that's Barstool, right? Barstool, when they do something, it is about them, and the sports are they like start the fire, right? And then they are the fire. So you've got that. Then you've got like Bussin, who's probably like a mixture of the two, right? So they go to media night. But once again, like the Will and Taylor thing, it is still a little bit about them, right? Although the variable interview is more about the game, but the clips that they're talking about are kind of centered around not drama, but the reality TV show of Will and Taylor as personalities, right? Then you've got like, we walked by Dominique Foxworth or Mina Kimes selling out the studio, and it's like, okay, it's still about the game, but people are fans of these people, so they host live event, but it's about the game, right? I assume the live show is about the Super Bowl or something, heavy kind of football. So where does Snapback show up? Currently, Snapback shows up within the NFL ecosystem, right? We go to opening night media, we do Radio Row, and that's the extent of it. We don't do content outside of it. We don't do content for our fans. We don't do, any original stuff, because to date, our original content is going to games. So we can't go to a game Monday through Saturday. And then you could do a live trivia event, but like our focus so far has been, doing it on Radio Row. So that's really the question of, next year, is it Monday media, Wednesday through Friday is Radio Row, but Tuesday is we host the flag football game, or we host a live trivia event, or we just go, because it's in LA, we just go to the Clippers game with our fans, or like and it can evolve to, you get guests to come and we're filming our live trivia event, or we're also doing a football game, or we're going to come up with a million different ideas. So that's kind of a question of like, how do we continue to show up? And I think this football season will be a really good kind of pulse check on it, because we're finally at the point where we could make it a little bit more about us, right? Like the thing I take most pride in is that we are highlighting others. Like we're really the good guys in the grand scheme of things. Like we're trying to put the spotlight on other people, on the game, on whatever it may be. But what's the balance? So if we go to Montana, or let's pick a school for season 3. Like we go to Iowa, right? We know if we show up on Wednesday, by Saturday morning, let's say it's a night kick, that we would have, the local Iowans kind of like at our discretion, right? Like we can move bodies. So if we still have explored on Thursday, local eats, local bars, and Friday we do facilities and gear and, all the good stuff there. But then Saturday for an hour, we put something on that's an event that actually brings people to us. That is an evolution kind of what, we've historically done. I still think it's 99% them, and the show would still be built around, like, we're not going to start talking, Clemson SMU matchup and create our own game day. It would be an Iowa centric thing, and you probably want to bring on local Iowa people or whatever it may be. But point is that evolves. So that's just a question of, I agree Tuesday is not the most productive day, but that's for, past Snapback. So what about current and future Snapback? And, Coastal is going to be a good example of that. Like Barstool went, I think, did they do the thing in the Giants Stadium ahead of time and then released it? Do you know what I'm talking about? I think they did like a whole competition at Oracle or whatever it's called stadium now, the San Francisco Giants Stadium. So I saw that come out. But yeah, it's really just the thing that we're currently showing up as, which we get a lot of comments, is like, wow, I can't believe how Barry Sanders or Urlacher was like that into it. And people like that. And once again, we're highlighting their personalities. We get to have Kamari Lassiter like talk about his love for fashion. Like, if Kamari Lassiter goes on Mina Kimes' podcast, he has to talk Texans defense and he gets to mention the fashion thing, but no one's there or probably listening for that part. So we're skillful in that capacity. And then the last one that I left out was, we could show up as solo creators, right? Like we could have had, our mission could be like, I get into the fucking, what's it called? Like celebrity flag football game. Or, there's like Meta has, 12 different creators come out for the Super Bowl. Or there's even deeper with the NFL. Like we've never done honors. We've never done the red carpet at the Madden event that happens like there is more content. There's always more to be done. It's just, we now have to make a decision of how do we actually want to show up for the week. And then if the Ravens are in it, then that, like I think it, Tim's fandom of the Patriots obviously makes it more complex, but like the week wasn't about you being a Pats fan, obviously. If the Ravens were in it, we would I would probably drop out of some trivia stuff and do more Ravens centric content, right? So
yeah,
there's, you always have to be adjusting to what's going
on. My reaction to that is like, what you're saying is all correct. I believe in what you're saying. The thing I'm wondering, like, why, even though Monday and Tuesday feel like blah successes, why does it still feel like we're working so fucking hard on those days? Like, in other words, I don't even know. Like, I would start with reverse engineering that and being like, well, I don't even know how we have like the battery for all of that when, like, like if there was a flag football game that we were playing, or like it was like Snapback versus BDG, like that was like what we did on Monday, like that needs to be ready to go, that we can like step off of set or step off of media night and like go do that, and not have to like also all plan it, all promote it, all like it just feels like the trivia is such a all out effort from all of us. We all get guests, we all play the games, we all do this and that, we all take photos, we all put the mics on people, we all like do these jobs. So it almost feels like, yes, because the guests are more high profile on Thursday, Friday, but it's almost like I feel like we're slowly building all of that for the Thursday, Friday. Like it's like all the effort we put in. And so like,
it's because what you just said, you are the only solo talent where that really is your only job. right? Like we have to manage the social media. Nate is not like his job is not just to host trivia. He's got to build the games. He's got to edit. He's got to manage editors at home.
Right.
And that's just the reality. Yes, if when Barstool is going to put on the flag game, they've also got 12 other people behind the scenes doing that stuff.
Right.
And we're just not at, naturally at that stage. It's like, it's the same reason why when we go to these media days, who were like the big media, like Pape, for example, right? Like Pape shows up and we show up the same time CBS showed up to set up their room and we're setting up in the hallway, right? So like that's just it's the reality of we don't have like we're hiring up right now because we want more video editors and we want more producers, but like we just don't have the bodies for it naturally.
Right. And so that's where, you're the ideas person, creative go in terms of what's the other things we could do. And I'm all aboard. It's just, it's funny because like, it just feels like we build to that moment so hard. Like, everyone, like I'm thinking to myself, like I leave like Radio Row and I'm thinking about going to the Pats game. I'm like, I even play one of our daily trivias at Radio Row. Then like it's just like what, but that's not smart either, right? So it's like what the I still feel it'd be so different. It was like this is easy to us. Now we do like that's kind of the way I'm thinking. But it's like, yeah, we do need to do something else. I'm like, we still haven't even mastered like doing the trivia the best way. So like,
and we keep stacking team members that travel. And we stack days that we're on the road because we understand it takes a little bit more prep and it's worth it. So, yeah, I don't think we should just fly in Tuesday night, get in 7 a.m., set up and start rolling Wednesday.
Right.
But, yeah, it's just an awareness thing. And I think we're pretty aware of what we can and can't pull off. And, like, for Coastal, when we're, shooting episode of the College Gauntlet, like I'm considering hiring an agency to essentially just like crash course us, right? Like what are all the camera shots? What's the production that we need? What are the equipment? Like, and then we can do it from there. But yeah, we just got to keep learning really.
Right. I'm thinking, Monday night, Snapback BDG flag football game. I'm like, no shot. I get a single one of those clips out that week, the way we're doing. Right. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, no one's great. Okay, that'd be really fun to do. I'm like, who's putting this out? Who's like, because what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, so
I mean, our talent is also involved in the production and the creative, right? So like that's another reason why even if we got the athlete for the Olympics, we would have been able to pivot, but to give that the proper like for the final products, we wouldn't have had it. We would have just thrown something else out the door and prioritize it. We're good at prioritizing. That is
yes.
But yeah, that's just the reality.
No, and that's kind of full circle to my what's next. I'm like, yeah, I still like want to like I know how to do a phenomenal job of like X, and then it's like what for, I'm not just everyone here. I'm not just sitting there on the side getting my makeup done. Like it's like we're all okay. You're the one that's picking up Chipper right now. You're the one that's like it's like blah, 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 it's just buzzing the whole time, and you're just like, holy shit, the day's over. Those fucking 15 hours.
I literally got back to the hotel room after I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, and I looked at Nate and I said, Nate, I've had dinner with your wife. Your wife is so sweet. I know her name. What's her name? And obviously it's Emma now that my brain's not as fried. But like those days, fry your shit.
Fried.
I mean, like literally, you don't have the synapses because actually the content that we're doing also requires, turning your brain on and activating it. So yeah, it's we operate at a high level though, and that's another part of our edge.
Yeah, and I'm proud of that. Like everyone kind of hums. Like, and then it's like, oh yeah, Matt sent the Penn State assembly cut. I'm like, yeah, in what fucking world? No, definitely. You sit down for an hour at my headphones and pause this and type and like, so.
It's honestly, it all circles back to why I think coordinators should just be coordinators and that the head coach is a different role. It's like when you're doing more tasks and and the edge is so valuable, it's like, why dilute what someone does so well with all the other shit that is
Right.
required at that job?
And that's why too, at certain points, I'm receptive to the feedback of you just being like, well, you should have been promoting Olympics. So I'm like, yeah, man, like, thanks for the reminder. I actually completely forgot. Like,
Yeah.
actually, like, you know what I mean? It's like, I kept thinking like, yeah, I'll do that. And then you're like,
I wrote down a list. So one takeaway that Sean and I have had that since you guys were gone was like we're just still not there marketing wise. And then I made a list being like, okay, if I'm gonna take on this role, like Dawson's not ready to be our full-blown marketing person, right? He could execute tasks, but planning ahead, managing, like it's not realistic.
Well, because he's more focused on coaching at the fucking YMCA.
If I said what is how many items do you think we have to market actively? How many do you think there would be?
can I have an example of one item?
The trivia app.
Okay. How many items?
And I'm not even talking about like, jackpot within or the daily game within. I'm talking about like properties to essentially market. So like bigger stuff.
A dozen.
So here was my list, and I probably missed some stuff. But here's the thing that like we should be marketing, probably have a plan for, have a strategy and a process for. Trivia app, live events. So like we did the Colt McCoy event, but like like a meetup is, a live event of sorts. Your guide, any giveaway, so natty giveaway or sweepstakes, so March Madness, our bracket pool, our newsletter / email list in general, merch, which is our hats, Snapback Saturdays, our trivia content, our YouTube videos, our rankings, the jersey patch, my newsletter, Chop Pod, and then Underdog, Rowback, our ticket partner, our alcohol partner. Like it's an extensive list, and we're talking about like how efficient and high energy that
And
we
that's
already are. Like, yeah,
and that's before you get to marketing yourself, which you need to
yeah,
do to buoy all of those things. Because if your checklist was market those 12 things every day, you're actually just an AI bot.
right. You're just
Like
an
why?
ad.
There's no
here's
point
Underdog, here's
to
Rowback, here's You wouldn't even have the facilities to grow to your marketing be worth anything.
right.
100%.
Exactly. So like, yeah, that would be like if you're Budweiser, they'd be like, yeah, we market our this or this or that. It's like we also market the whole thing for the reason people, when we have a special 6-pack, people want to buy it. Like it's ridiculous. It's no, I mean, I think of that all the time. And then you realize where you're falling short on one. And you're like, oh God, I don't even know where to kind of catch up on that. Right. Like,
yeah, it's paralysis.
Casey?
Nothing. I think that's a wrap. Well, I also have, speaking of where's next, I have a meeting at 3:00 with Houston basketball. So that hopefully could be next. So yeah, we have 4 leftover topics to discuss next week on Chop, if nothing else comes up within the week.
I know, that's the problem. What do you guys? So the one thing that I had a ton of anxiety about was the video editor position. And this, I just want to say I'm extremely, extremely happy about. And really, like, I don't know, we're so close to it that the momentum of Snapback feels palpable. Like, I'm walking around New York and someone's like, yo, Snapback Sports. Like, New York honestly was always a place that I wasn't, that Snapback didn't have like a ton of just like that would happen because like I'm on the streets, right? We've discussed if we're at games, like that shit's going to happen. But in the streets, that's a little bit different. Anyways, I'm always looking or fishing for examples of like the palpability of like, yes, the momentum is real. We're not just glazing ourselves, right? And unless you're with us, how can I tell someone, right? I could tell someone, oh, 48 people came up to us at Penn State hockey. Like last year, that would have been 28, and the year before, it would have been 18. We have a verbal that is booked Snapback Saturday season 3 in February. That feels pretty palpable. And just like outside of that, it's still a lot of just vibes things. Like you can just feel it, and there's no really great way to explain it except for this video editing position. We put out this job posting 16 months ago, and we got, some decent options. The best options from 16 months ago wouldn't even make our final round this time around. And I think that is, and Sean wrote it in Slack, one of the most encouraging things is that we had a bunch of females apply, which also speaks to the type of content we're creating. So not only is it just high level prospects, but it's also a diverse pool, which shows we're creating content that is appealing to, different pockets of fandom, which is exciting for myself. So yeah, the video editor for me is such a big step, because like these 4 Olympic videos, like that's where I have the anxiety of like, let's fucking get them out. Like they're good content. Like people need to see this. And if we felt North Dakota made sense, we couldn't go to North Dakota. Like it wouldn't even make sense, because then the content comes out 4 weeks later. And because we've gotten so good at on the grounds, we've actually created this unfortunate thing where like we're on to the next, and like that audience that we captured at that time doesn't even care. That would be the one takeaway that we had at home that I don't think we've perfected, is like with Saturdays, it's easy because you go to the game Saturday, and even though we're headed out, like you can carry that momentum till the video releases on Thursday. I posted about how like just a follow plug or a call to action. I'm beating the dead horse in our group about how important that is. The Olympics content, circling that back so we can capture that audience who wants to go watch that. I don't know if that is more calls to action, or if that is if that's actually just marketing. Like I don't know what is going to get someone to, or sorry, not marketing. Our thing, I've talked about this before, like Josh Pate, everyone knows anything he does, it relates back to the show. Bussin', it relates back to the show. Part of my take, like anything Big Cat, it probably relates back to the show. I don't know if we have that connection between streamers, right? IRL streamers. It's like, if you see a clip, you knew that's where it came from. Jesser, it's YouTube. So we haven't established that yet. But I do think one thing that we should mandate just to force it is like at the end or in the middle of every one of those Olympics videos, if you guys had said like, this is day 1 in Milan, like I'm going to be posting more content like this, like I would imagine the follower numbers would just go absolutely berserk, because we see it with, we're now doing plugs and it's not natural, but at the same time, it is one of those things that can come off natural. And so when we go to Texas Tech next season, it's like, I'm eating at Lolo's, or not Lolo's, at where'd we eat?
Evie Mays.
The first night.
Yeah.
Las Brisas.
But whatever. Yeah, we're eating at Las Brisas. It's like, this is night 1. Like, I can't wait. You guys should probably follow if you want to see more. Like, yeah, if I'm a Texas Tech fan, I'm like, yeah, I'll follow. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Great call. So
and, I think that
we should definitely.
That certainly works. And this when I talk about the like continue to move or continue to this, that's a thing to add to the college playbook that is pretty seamless. And we know that we're going to be posting the whole weekend. Olympics, yeah, I knew I'd be posting content, but I still like didn't know my confidence level and like what's coming next. Like, night 1 at the rink, follow for more. It's like, maybe don't, because I don't know what's happening now. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't know.
But you knew you were gonna be, I get what you're saying. But when you step out, it's like you're going to be creating content. That's why you were there.
Correct.
You know?
Yes.
You didn't know it was going to perform this well. You didn't know it was.
Right.
You didn't know like that the beer thing was going to spiral into what it was, but it should. Yeah, asking people to follow, like calls to action, they're super powerful. But
and just bringing back,
caveat,
like, by the way,
it has to be a value. It has to, like, that's the thing I keep hammering.
Yes.
Is like Casey's calls to action in our trivia content on Radio Row were like so poorly done, right? Like we're 3 questions in and Casey's like, follow if you want to see more Radio Row content. And it's like, wait, why would I want to see more Radio Row content? You know, like you have to tell me why. Follow for our next set of rankings. Oh, that's interesting. Follow because you liked this content. Oh, that's interesting. Follow because we have this guest coming up on Radio Row. Follow for more Radio Row content. That's not,
right.
Okay. If it's so good, it'll probably pop up again because that's how I found you the first time.
Right.
And that's
right.
what you have to convince people. You don't want to like make sure you see this.
It's easier, and that's why it works with the rankings things, because you have more coming out. So it actually is like value, follow for the next one, right? And so, I think even follow for the next whatever, but even when we're doing our content, in say Milan, like, and by the way, we're filming a full YouTube on what this is about, like this rank. Like when I'm talking about the rank, I'm like, hey, let me sum it up for you. Like that's a great time to be like, actually, there's a whole episode of this coming out. Like, and I think when we're just in it so much like that's something that falls out of the 40 things you listed that we market, right?
Yeah. But that one's actually probably the most important. So like, how do that's the funny thing is when the thing is most important, we need to nail, oh, there's going to be a YouTube video. And then even if they don't subscribe, now they are connecting if they stumble upon YouTube, right? But that's just the brand growing in general, right? The click-through rate's going to continue to increase the more and more we do this stuff.
It's like phase 1, it's like still trying to show that we're here. Like phase 2 is like now showing like that we're not just here, we have a library. Like we're continuing to be here.
I feel like after we cross like the 75-minute mark, we lose Casey every time.
Yeah.
Shop.
He's actually Quinn Hughes on the bench. That's what it looks like. If you didn't know, that's what it looks like.
I'm just keeping my eye on the clock with, while also being, no, I agree. I mean, there's no.
Why are you keeping your eye on the clock?
He's Houston at 3.
Oh, sorry. Okay. All right, then good time to chop it.
Great time. And I needed to pee, so I needed these 2 minutes, which
I got okay. All right.
See, I would just be late to the meeting.